Good afternoon, YouTube subscriber. This is Harper Community First, your humble host. And please subscribe to my channel if you have not. I'd enjoy doing commentaries and coming with you guys for the greater good. I want to discuss with you guys today the Breaking Brown show of last night that we watched and that we all tuned into. A lot of us did, and some may have not, of Yvette Cornell, a thought leader and co-founder of American DOS, ADOS. American Descendant of Slavery. The show was about pretty much zeroing into Ben Carson and his position as he obtained in government and due to his real expertise, a neurosurgeon. And I think what she did is broke it down pretty good, and she gave an analysis on how we should pay attention to the people that are moving the needle in terms of how we exist as a whole. And I mean, when I say this, Ben Carson basically, he's removing, so-called have a strategy of removing illegal immigration from our housing project, from the hood housing, and maybe even Section 8. And therefore, these people illegally in our country will not be manipulating our resources, our tax dollars and government over our heads. And as we are descendants of slavery are not being rectified in terms of government policy and our finances and stuff like that. Those things are important. Now, on the other half, I'm not sure if the needle that he's moving, I'm not sure if he's doing it right. And I believe that's what Yvette Cornell basically was trying to, was describing, and was basically showing us that it's not about just being on the program, but you got to know how to do it. And Yvette Cornell is very strategic about what she does, and she's not perfect, but she's definitely passionate, and she has a tremendous amount of prestige and intellectual presence. I can say that myself. I've done an assessment on her, and I appreciate her for what she does. There was a caller that called in, and it was disparaging a little bit that he's an ADOS person, and he kind of got denounced a little bit about his stance on Ben Carson. And he's, and he's like us, a lot of us. We say that, well, if you're against illegal immigration, then you're for us. That has a lot of truth. That's true. I believe that. And I remember him asking Yvette if basically do we depend on the Democrats to make this decision, and she replied, no, it doesn't matter. So, like I stated earlier on, if you're a black person, a descendant of slavery, you're better off being an independent, because neither party was designed for you. You was not even considered a citizen. So when these parties was designed, they were not designed for people that come from the anchor of servitude or chattel slavery. They were not designed for you. So we can lean toward the ones and swing the vote in our favor, which is a beautiful opportunity, because now we consider basically a free people a right to vote in our society. However, I want to clear it up if I can. I know that Yvette Cornell, she was not saying that that she's basically for illegal immigration, and that I think sometimes people can become annoyed with their message as thought leaders, and they're trying to get a point across, and they have to deal with the small-minded ideas, and it's a broader perspective, So I think that's what we have to look at. When people are like Yvette are talking. And, it was unfortunate a little bit there how she had to denounce the young man, because he seemed like he had the heart of Republicans. After Democrats let us down, a lot of us had the heart of being a Republican. And we understand that we'd rather be a Republican than deal with the benign and neglect. And illegal immigration is against us. I say that myself. And I'm glad Ben Carson is basically moving the needle in terms of illegal immigration, as he opposed to the idea of that. That's against us. It really, truly is. However, the way they're doing it could be constituted as a threat to us. And the way they're doing it is a concern, because they're taking away the funding. And the funding, a lot of our people are in those hood houses. Not to mention they have been manipulated, and that's what Yvette was talking about. A lot of us are in those hood houses. Now, hood houses are nice. And if you pull the funding back, like the old lady with the mole who can't get her grandson surgery, or somebody, you know, that they were talking about on Capitol Hill and PBS, and Ben Carson didn't want to answer it. We got to think about how those families feel if they see Ben Carson in that space and not able to expound on that situation. Whereas though there's no money in the program, you took it out to defy illegal immigration, but we're suffering as ADOS. That's what Yvette Cornell was saying. So it's a broader perspective than, oh, well, we just gonna get rid of illegal immigration. I'm glad that he's doing something in that sense. Because illegal immigration, look, I don't hate people either. But I do know that I love people and I like to see people make it. But I'm tired of being a fool as a black person, always with the kumbaya. These people are coming over here, they're wearing our coattails. And they're stating that they're us in terms of minority and all other kind of stuff. And this is unacceptable. This is very unacceptable. And all on the 14th Amendment, which belong to the descendants of chattel slavery. No, I don't want them here either. And getting over on our government. So no, I don't. And I want you to know that. But at the same time, if you're going to take money from a program that's aiding ADOS, the descendants of slavery, just to defy illegal immigration, then that's a kind of a conflict of interest, and that's basically a concern. But we do have to choose our battles. So we can correct Ben Carson in terms of how he does this. If you want to do something to remove illegal immigration, be strategic about it. Because there's people that we're suffering. So I think that we're going to get what we deserve, and I also, in terms of reparations, and I also believe that it's going to work out in his favor. Let's agree to disagree. Don't be discouraged because one of us has disagreed with each other. Don't go talk about Yvette Cornell saying, oh, she, you know, because people get tired. She may have been up 2 days. She may have been tired and not really understand how to exchange during the message. Because Ben Carson defying the presence of illegal immigration is a good thing for us. I believe it is. Because they're getting over and they're not us. Then a lot of people believe, well, no, they are fine. What we need to be worried about is getting reparations from the government. So we can go ahead with our lives. Because these people are going to be here anyway. America has a lot of immigrants. A lot of people feel that way. And I understand that also. But for the very reason that they are putting on our coats and wearing our name is my concern. They're wearing our name. And they're getting more than we get. And they're being remembered as important. They're being revered as an important people. So this is my concern. And I don't really like the way they carry themselves. We have enough problems as ADOS. But I don't really care for the way they carry themselves. I'm not for illegal immigration. I think they need to stand up to their own government. We fought for laws here. People died. They got pushed in water down with water hoses. People got hung. Everything. So they need to fight their own government and stop being lazy. People die in war. Martin Luther King Jr. said, if you won't die for nothing, then you don't really have a passion. You got to have the mind of warriors. Even Yvette said it when she started out in her podcast, in her demonstration. She started out speaking that way. So we got to understand, let's agree to disagree and disagree to agree. That's fine. We can do that. But remember, we're a unit. No matter if I do disagree with my sister Yvette or whatever, she's still my sister. And I'm still going to follow the idea of her ideology in terms of the broader perspective. And I think that's what we need to be careful to do. Because that young man who called in that was ADOS, continue to be ADOS. Of course, you got schooled a little bit about the situation. But next time, I would just recommend that people understand, agree to disagree. Say, he could have said, well, Ben Carson, I understand what you're saying, Yvette, and I hope that he understands this in the future, because this does affect us. But also, Ben Carson, we need to also be thankful that he's against illegal immigration, because that hurts us too. She would have agreed. It was just a misunderstanding. And some black folks are Republicans. We're tired of the Democrats all the time, of what they've done and left us in a shape, knowingly, not unknowingly, and not really cared about us as a people. So, the president started removing illegal immigration, and I'm glad he did, because a lot of these people that come over here illegally and that are immigrants feel like they can jump on the powers that be and be white supremacy and further oppress us, because they feel like they got a little something going on. So I'm glad he made that announcement and made it public knowledge that they were over here illegally and that they're not special. That's a start. That's my opinion, and I'm glad for it, and I actually believe that, and I've done an assessment on it as well. And I'm not going to push this down anybody's throat, but I'm going with my people. I just wanted to kind of expound on last night's show with Yvette Cornell and how she looked at, zeroed into the fact that Ben Carson moving the needle and pulling back on the housing of the money is hurting also ADOS. But at the same time, I appreciate the pushback for illegal immigration. Stop giving these people our tax dollars, and we don't even have our reparations. Anyway, God bless y'all. God bless every one of you. And, even those, and I want to say something else. Listen, I'm not into religion. But I was raised as Christian. But I don't get all into all of that. I respect everybody's religion as much as possible, because that's a sacred place where everybody, and I'm open-minded in that sense. Because I had somebody talk to me about that. I'm open-minded when it comes down to how you want to worship and serve your God, because I know our God was snatched away from us. The way we come to Him in terms of spiritual connect as Africans, or people that were from the ancestry of African diaspora. But we are Americans. We're United States citizens. We are natives. We've been in this country since the 1600s. So, but I want to expound on that and let you guys know that I love you, and keep your heads up, and let's go forward, and let's agree to disagree and continue moving forward and cut the check. Cut the check.